After the brutal duel on Mustafar that left Anakin Skywalker broken and scarred, he would fully embrace the dark side of the Force, consumed by a singular obsession: revenge. And for nearly 2 decades, he hunted down his former master, driven by the need to defeat Obi-Wan once and for all. And when that long-awaited moment finally arrived on the Death Star, Vader emerged victorious. But it wasn't triumph he felt. Instead of pride, an unsettled fear crept over him, leaving him more horrified than ever. But what could have possibly caused him this horror? Before the pivotal duel on the Death Star, Vader often found himself consumed by the thought of one thing: killing his master. Yet, despite this obsession, the idea of facing his master in combat stirred deep fear within him. After all, he had lost to Obi-Wan not once but twice before. Not just on the duel on Mustafar when he still had all his limbs, but also on that barren moon where Obi-Wan had spent his years hiding away and disconnecting from the Force and the art of combat. While Vader, on the other hand, spent years hunting down Jedi in rebel cells, sharpening his abilities with the Force and his lightsaber. And these defeats weighed heavily on Vader, as it pushed Vader to push himself harder. However, why was Vader afraid after killing Obi-Wan on the Death Star? We'll be getting our information from the now Legends novel Death Star, where it is mentioned that before their final confrontation, Vader had doubts. He questioned whether he could actually defeat Obi-Wan, given his previous failures. However, as the duel began, these doubts began to fade away, and in just the first few strikes, it became clear to Vader that while Obi-Wan still possessed a great connection to the Force, his lightsaber skills were gone. The years of hiding had left the once formidable Jedi Master a shadow of his former self. Yet, despite sensing his superior strength, Vader was uncharacteristically cautious. He fought more defensively than usual, unsure if this was some sort of trick that Obi-Wan was playing. Vader could feel the momentum shift entirely in his favor. He used the dark side to anticipate Obi-Wan's each and every move, often countering them before they were even made. This battle felt like to him a win. Still, Vader did not underestimate his old master. He watched and waited as Obi-Wan retreated. Then, at the climax of the duel, Vader heard someone call out to Obi-Wan. Although he didn't dare turn to look away, Obi-Wan did. And what happened next took Vader by surprise. Obi-Wan simply looked at him, smiled, and then with an almost carefree attitude, raised his lightsaber above his head and waited. This bizarre action made Vader pause. He hesitated, confused by Obi-Wan's action. Quickly snapping out of it, he took advantage of the moment and sliced through Obi-Wan with his lightsaber. As the blade cut through Obi-Wan, Vader expected the satisfaction of seeing his master's body fall to the ground. After almost 2 decades of his former master haunting him every day, he had finally killed him. But while at first he was very proud of himself and pleased, that quickly bled away as he was met with an unsettling sight. Instead of being a dead body on the ground, only Obi-Wan's empty robes, his cloak, and his lightsaber remained. No body, no blood, just robes, a cloak, and a lightsaber. Vader's initial feeling of triumph was quickly replaced with unease. Something was wrong, and he couldn't shake the feeling that this was some kind of trick. He searched the robes with his boot, but there was nothing to be found there. And for the first time in what felt like an eternity, Vader felt genuine fear. What terrified him wasn't the thought that Obi-Wan might still be alive. It was the fact that he didn't understand what had just happened. This led him to come to the conclusion that Obi-Wan hadn't taught him everything he knew, and instead held back the most important information. This confusion lingered in his mind, haunting him even up until the Battle of Yavin, where he realized bitterly that he had underestimated the power of the light side. Interestingly enough, Vader initially believed that this event might have been connected to Darth Plagueis the Wise, the Sith Lord obsessed with conquering death. But after realizing that Obi-Wan was not connected to Darth Plagueis, this only strengthened his fear, as he realized that if Obi-Wan could learn the secrets of life after death, he had done what no other Sith have done. But whether it was or not, it didn't matter. The idea that a Jedi could achieve what no Sith ever could shook Vader to his core. He desperately wanted answers, but that would have to wait till after the battle. However, what unsettled Vader the most was the sheer absurdity of it all. After realizing that Obi-Wan's body was not in the robe, Vader came to the conclusion that there was now possibly some naked old man running around the Death Star. Even after the death of Obi-Wan, Kenobi still found a way to demonstrate the power of the light side of the Force. But anyway, that is why Vader was horrified after Obi-Wan Kenobi's death on the Death Star. What do you think about all of this? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, it would mean a lot to me if you could like and subscribe. It would help the channel out a ton. Also, if you want to watch another one of my videos, click on screen now. And finally, before you go, make sure to let me know your top questions about Star Wars in the comments down below, as I plan on doing a video where I answer all of them in the future. And with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.